Hello and welcome to your Living A Course in Miracles call. My name is Jared Krebs. I am coming at you live from San Antonio, Texas. Today is August 31st, 2018, and I am excited about today's call because the content was very juicy. We're discussing Ken Wapnick's audio called Parents and Children, and I cannot wait to talk to you about it. I listened to the 51-minute video twice around, and so I'm pretty on fire about Ken Wapnick and this training that we had. So that's what I'm excited about. And let's start the call like we always do. Where are you calling in from? What's your name? And why are you excited? Let's go.
My name is Lynn. I'm calling in from Lake Hampton, California. I'm excited about Course in Miracles. Thanks.
Boom. Awesome. Thank you, Linda.
Nice. Big muscles, Linda. So yeah, my name's Christian Stanbury, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm really excited about today's call to talk about this video called Parents and Children on YouTube, 51-minute video. I thought that it was like this workshop, Parents and Children. There's a book form and so many forms of this. I thought it was like the first disc of it where they kind of talk about Bill Thetford, but it wasn't that, but it was still awesome. And yeah, so excited to talk about it.
Badass. Thank you,
Hey
sir.
guys, it's Nathan Lively in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm excited to be here because I've been gone for a little bit, so it's good to hear everyone's voice. Also, looking forward to forgiving you.
Thank you. We're looking forward to be forgiven. All right. Well, let's get right into it. So I found this audio because we were talking about those audios that got taken down by your friend. What's his name again, Christian?
Yeah, well, I think he took them down or whatever, but his name was Mark Layton.
Mark, yeah. So I was like, man, I want to find like something like that, you know, like something that's long and Ken and cool. And so like immediately after we hung up last week, I found it, and it was like 51 minutes of Ken. And I guess it was like of him like when he was younger, because it seemed like it was an older recording and he's like teaching people in a classroom or something, and the video is really just an audio recording with like pictures of Ken Wapnick randomly teaching in a classroom.
I think those images might be like in their Roscoe location in New York, like their first.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken, but I haven't really seen any like any of the interior from that building, so it is kind of rare even for me who's like seen every little piece.
Yeah, and the recording was kind of grainy too. It wasn't like totally.
Yeah, but I loved that. Like
Yeah,
I could hear
kinda
traffic
like,
and planes go by and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what was it like in the 70s or whenever they made it, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah, so it was just cool. Like, it was just like cool, and they were asking really good questions. So my highlights from the recording was how they talk about the parents and the children, and how you're basically born into this ego scenario where you're dependent on the parent, and it's like, I guess there's no way around it. And that's the most important special relationship to forgive. And so that was really cool to kind of know how just how the ego setting works. I also found it fascinating how it talks about, I guess it's really important for us to actually develop our egos when we're kids, and to like have a sense of self, and that I'm Jared and you're Christian and you're Linda and you're Nathan, and you know, we're separate and all this, so that we can interact with the world, and where we don't have, and if somebody doesn't do that, they end up being autistic or having some form of, you know, like I guess kind of problems relating with the world. So that was really like fascinating to me. And then I had another friend who she's not really studying the course, but she's not like a religious person, and she's very spiritual. She's a business leader friend of mine, and she was like, I'm struggling with what to teach my kids. And I'm like, I'm gonna ask someone. And I never have asked Gary Renard, but this audio would be perfect for her, because it's like, here you go. You can just be the example of love and be the example of forgiveness for your kids. And it doesn't really matter what you do with them in a way. I mean, that first part of their life, except that you're the example, and that you can teach it. I like at the very end of the video how it said you can teach the course just through how you are and your beingness.
Yeah, and like it's cool how like Gary's mom like told him the story about Plato when she was young. You know, it's like she was planting seeds but not saying directly like things, you know, and you know, yeah, like I think Kenna said, it's not really for like young people in general kind of thing. And I guess that's really understandable because it's so radical that it's really heavy, right? And
yeah, I mean, you have to really already kind of decide that you don't want to build the ego empire anymore. And so yeah, it's not something that I probably couldn't have accepted if I was 18.
I don't know, but what hits home is, you know, like what you're saying, what Ken said is like, you know, teach only love, for that is what you are.
Yeah. Oh,
teach love. Teach them how to be kind and use their manners and just practical, normal, old, everyday, go to school, please.
Yep. And that's it, you know, and then they'll eventually figure it out.
Or like little things, yeah, just like my dad one time would say, like I was all guilty about something. He's like, I remember when I was really young, he's like, well, did you do anything wrong? And I said, no. Well, what are you worried about then? You know, like things tend to work, you know, just little simple things like that, right?
Yeah. Your dad sounds cool.
He's super cool. And he looks like a biker and he has like big red beard and stuff.
Bring him on the call, man.
Yeah, one day I'll get him to say hi and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was one thing that stood out. Another thing that really stood out was the concept of like, at the beginning, you're the, like if I had kids, I would be kind of like their, you know, I'd raise them up and I would be their teacher, quote unquote, of life. But then at some point you hand them off. And now you look at your parents like brothers and sisters instead of, you know, God or, you know, whatever we look at our parents like growing up. So I like that concept of looking at my parents that way. I mean, that's definitely cool. I can also see how all the forgiveness lessons that I had to do with my parents in, you know, growing up, if they would get mad at me or I'd be mad at them, or like all those things are like, those are the things to forgive. That's the purpose of these relationships. My parents were pretty good, actually. I didn't have a ton of huge things to forgive. There's probably a lot of little things though.
I've been finding it like easier to forgive by like kind of like doing the workbook lessons more diligently, like kind of to the letter and stuff. Like I continued where I left off, and like because it's like it's a course in mind training, and like I think it's important to read the text too, but the workbook I think is like equally or like important, but it's what makes the goal of the course possible. It says right in the introduction, right? So I find it like so helpful because the ego reinforces itself. And it's and an untrained mind can accomplish nothing. So I find it easier to forgive by like, I don't know. I think it would be wise to even like almost like do it every day, like, you know, be like until at least my mind is trained enough and has like, because Ken said like it creates a framework for your day where you keep returning your attention to the purpose of your day. You know, like return your attention like every hour, whatever. Be like, oh, wait a second, I want peace, you know, or whatever. Like that lesson is it's like saying grace is like returning your attention to the purpose.
Yeah.
Of, you know,
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, I'm excited to do the workbook again. I'm still working my way through the text, but I do notice when I do read my 2 pages a day, that's when I do something like clicks in my brain and I look at it the rest of the day more through the Holy Spirit's vision than my body ego vision, for sure. Okay, and last things that were highlights from, I liked how he said at the beginning of the recording about like guilt, and your job is to deny the guilt, but it's not to deny the sunset or deny the whatever things you like. And then someone asked, well, what about if the sunset keeps you stuck in this world? And he said, that's only if you think the sunset is like heaven to you. But if you see the sunset and you just enjoy the sunset and then it goes and comes and whatever, then it's like it's not an idol.
Yeah.
So like but the real thing is denying the guilt. And or no, we deny the guilt and then that means we project it. So it would be whatever that is that you like dissolve the guilt or not projecting it out. So I thought that was cool because there's always those times in my mind where I'm like, oh, am I like keeping my body chained here because of sense pleasures? Things like that.
Yeah, but it's so important not to feel guilty and stuff, because like that's our experience here, and it is good to be comfortable, right? Not overindulge it, but like at the same time, like because there are boundaries, we don't want to hurt ourselves. But at the same time, it doesn't even really matter what we do, period. It doesn't matter what we do, period. It's how we're going to look at our body and stuff, yeah.
Totally. So I've had a really good day because I listened to this and I was like really in a peaceful mood, and I really was like not seeing myself as a body, and I was like really kind of just bebopping along, very peaceful all day. So there's definitely benefit to that. And one other thing that comes to mind is when the guy was like talking to his wife and he said, "Please don't die this day. I have an important meeting. Can you just hold on?"
I love that.
Like very matter of fact, like come on. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, man, that's cool. And
I think it's kind how he asked too, like, would you be able to do one more day?
Yeah, but the whole point is he's like, man, and then when he died, he's like, I'm just going home. Like, why are you guys sad? This is cool.
Yeah. Like Ken, at the end of his life, he kept saying, I'm not dying. I'm not dying.
That's what Ken said?
Yeah, he kept telling people because they were all like, oh, you're going to die, right? I'm not dying.
Tell me more.
That's all I remember right now. But Ken Wapnick's interview with Kenneth Bach was really awesome.
Okay. So what cancer did Ken have? Just curious.
I forgot.
Okay. I wonder if he did chemo and did like normal stuff, or did he just like let it roll?
Yeah, I don't know. But my buddy, he a really good friend of mine that showed me the course, he has cancer. And he was doing it for a bit, and then now he's kind of off it.
Your friend? Oh.
Yeah, he's in Winnipeg, and yeah, but he's feeling great right now. He looks and feels and sounds great right at the moment. So.
Sorry, bro.
Thank you. No worries.
That's all I got. It was good. It was very good.
Yeah, like I didn't really take any notes, but like I like at the beginning, like because I was mentioning how I'm doing the workbook, but he was saying like the ego might freak out, and it's kind of like indicative of you actually making progress, and like that's some really interesting dreams, unconscious guilt coming to the surface, very, very ugly looking dreams, but without fear, but very, very fearful images, very, very wacky fearful images, but I could look at it without fear. And but clearly like would win an Oscar for the most scariest horror film and stuff. Like it's some very, very freaky stuff, like and and also like he was saying you might project that guilt onto someone else or yourself kind of thing and stuff like that. I do both, but I did especially project it onto one person in particular. But I knew that it was myself trying to defend the ego kind of thing. I wasn't fully conscious of that, but because of my study of the Course and Ken, I knew that that's what was going on and stuff. Like, it was just kind of like, must have freaked out on another level and had to like reinforce itself quickly. Yeah.
Dreams too. So that's like when you're kind of more defenseless, quote unquote, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. You must have learned that from the journeys, eh?
Maybe. I didn't read the journey today because I was like, okay, I'm spending an hour on this call with you guys. I'm listening to the book. That's all the time I can do. So I took a day off from my 2 pages, but I'm still putting in the time. If you know what I'm saying? That's my take. I ain't gonna feel guilty about missing my 2 pages. Oh no.
No. Yeah, and like the end of the video, he's talking about the Oedipus complex or something, like Freud about
Oedipus, yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of a odd topic, and so many people like disregard Freud for like that, and like some of his other like hobbies and stuff. He used to do drugs and whatnot, experiment with different drugs and run tests and all that stuff. And but like Ken says, he was a great pioneer, and stuff, and like there was so much genius at that time in the world, and like it's the age of Freud, he says, and stuff, and it's really interesting. So I think people disregard Freud like they disregard like Einstein,
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of things Einstein said were awesome, but then you hear the science community, oh no, all his stuff is debunked. But I just read a quote from Einstein yesterday that was one of the most incredible. It could have came straight out of the course almost. It was amazing, talking about how we have to see each other all as like one and like with love. And like, but it was based on time. Like, was the context of the discussion. But he said the world's a prison, and you can escape it only by seeing us all as like one with love. Like basically, is what he said.
Cray.
Yeah.
Any other highlights?
I don't think so.
Okay. Awesome, brother.
Yay.
Hi.
Yep.
Those are great highlights, guys, especially because I haven't finished it yet, but I think I've listened to half of it. So I'll tell you some of my highlights from the stuff that I did here, parents and children. Although all of our experiences in the world carry the meaning we give them, demonstrating duality, we do not have to deny them. We only need to deny the guilt.
Yes.
So I think Jared kind of mentioned that already, but I like this term false asceticism. The world is an illusion, so to get involved with it. So to get involved with the world is evil. So false asceticism is.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, he defined the final judgment as finally being clear on these are all the things that are false and these are all the things that are true.
Okay.
And then I guess this is my favorite one. Stuff about being a victim has been, I don't know, big for me in the last few years. Just kind of getting different viewpoints on it. So he mentions that in this audio. When we see ourselves as the victim, we are depriving the mind the power to correct itself. So that seems to be one way that we hide in the ego almost. We see ourselves as a victim, and then the mind can't heal itself. It can't choose. We've chosen wrongly, and therefore we're sort of we're not uncovering the blocks to love. We are, reinforcing the blocks to love.
Yes.
I have some other things, but those are the most important ones for me.
Great notes. I like what you said about the asceticism thing, because when I was planning on being a monk, that was like exactly the thing. It was like, I'm not going to be normal. I'm not going to live in a house with a wife and kids. I'm going to be a monk. And that way I can study and meditate and get enlightened and peace out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a really cool. I've considered that too, but yeah, I guess it absolutely could be a mistake sometimes too. The idea of making the world real or the city real, and I got to go somewhere else, or whatever. Seek not to change the world; choose rather only to change your mind about the world. Generally, when Jesus gives you advice or whatever about what to do, it's usually like just to stay exactly where you are. Generally, just a little side note for everybody, Jackie Laura Jones just came up with a new 24th hour episode, and it's about reincarnation research. Some awesome doctor has been doing reincarnation research forever, and his evidence is undeniable. It's awesome. And he even tells us in this episode who Putin was, who Trump was, and who Ken was, and who Saint Teresa of Avila became, and all this stuff, and it's so awesome. Reincarnation research. Follow his Facebook page. It's kind of looks like auras as his
bro. Can you please post that?
Yeah, definitely.
That's freaking baller.
Yeah, so if y'all want to check that out, the 24th hour, Jackie Laura Jones, their latest episode. It's on YouTube. And if you want to find out who Trump was and who Putin was,
who were they?
I'm gonna leave it up to y'all to go watch the episode. Jackie Laura Jones.
Okay. Well, you're gonna post it in our Living A Course in Miracles group, right?
Yes.
Hell yeah. All right, my bro. Jason, anything else?
No, that was it. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Nate.
Okay, Linda Pettigrew. What was your highlights from the homework?
what I learned is, now, parenting can be so much better because, excuse me, the parents can have a better spiritual foundation and hopefully raise their kids right. No one parent is going to be perfect, We all have good side and our bad faults. That's just the way it is. And I'm hoping that I'm a good furry mom to my furry daughter here. Thank you. See your uncles, huh? You see Uncle Jared and Uncle Chris and Uncle Nathan is there too, Bunny, huh? Give them more kisses, huh? She gives you all kisses.
Hey, Lucy.
She knows you're doing a wonderful job, right, Bunny, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
So what you have to do is go by your gut instinct. Only you know your child, and only you know your parents. And I was told this maybe up until 4.5 years ago. My mother says, I'm the mother, you're the daughter, this is my house, that's it. So, and 99.9% of the parents are going to go that way because, hey, it's their house. They set their rules, they feel is good for you. But like I said, no parent is perfect. But now, with the Course in Miracles, the Four Agreements, and there's Buddhists and all sorts of spiritual foundations that hopefully you give your children a better life, so that way,
Yeah.
it's better.
It's
All
man.
you do is pray for them. That's it.
My most major forgiveness lesson or like classroom right now is with my parents and stuff, and so it's really interesting that this came up, and thank you very much for that. And Jared, like you were talking about what happened with your mom, I argued with her before and after the call, and like it's like we don't know what we got, and it's so crazy how blind we are. It's like how precious everyone is, so yeah, it's pretty wild.
So
And
true.
if you want to say hello to Uncle Chris, huh? Say hello, Uncle Chris, huh? He's away in Canada, baby, huh?
Hey, Lucy.
And
Awesome.
Uncle Jared, he's all the way in Texas, huh? And your Uncle
Close.
Nathan too, huh?
Okay. Anything else, Linda?
No, that's it.
Okay. So, forgiveness in the field, folks. So for me, a forgiveness that came up this week was I found some, like when I was cleaning out my closet in Utah, I was taking home stuff that probably been in my house for 20, 30 years or whatever, just like baseball cards and stuff that's been there forever. And I found the recording of my senior recital where I was playing bebop jazz music. And I actually
Oh, you look great.
Did y'all see that at all?
Oh, I saw it. You look wonderful.
Oh, thanks. So I was like, damn, I was good. Like I could play guitar really good. Like I could have gone to the top. I could have been one of the best jazz players in the world. I could have gone to New York and went up for it. But that's not what I did. I ended up wanting to be a monk and starting online business instead, which is fine. I'm happy. But the forgiveness lesson was all these emotions came up about being pissed off at my jazz guitar teacher from college and how much me and him always clashed, and I never forgave it.
Who was that?
He was my jazz guitar teacher.
Yeah, but who was it?
His name's Fred Hamilton.
Yeah, I had the same one.
Okay, so that's right. Nathan knows all this. I forgot totally that you know these people.
Hey, do you know about his website?
No.
Okay, this is a total aside. I'll tell you later.
Okay. Anyway, long story short, me and Fred Hamilton never got along, okay? The whole 4 years. So I'm watching myself as a 23-year-old, how much I hate this guy, and I have to thank him at my recital because he was the faculty of my instrument. So, and I totally dogged him. I didn't thank him first. I thanked my vocal jazz teacher first, and then I thanked him, and then I went on. And I just started to feel all these emotions of hatred towards my jazz guitar teacher that this was 15 years ago and I made this, you know? So I'm like, God damn, I got to forgive this right now. And so I went through my little Holy Spirit. I recall the unconscious belief of the fear of God, fear of death, fear of destruction, fear of God's love in the form of hatred towards Fred Hamilton. I recall this projection. I relinquish it onto you, for I no longer want any of these ego thoughts within me as mine. I'm aware that Jared, Fred, and all these illusory bodies are a mortal spirit. They have nothing to do with what they are. They are perfect spirit, perfect oneness, perfect love. And I went through and I kind of forget.
Shout out to Pablo. Shout out to Pablo.
Shout out Pablo. That's right.
Yeah.
For that prayer, Pablo. So that I went right default. So that was a big win that I instead of like going down like all the hatred I have or had for Fred Hamilton, like I just started to kind of like finally forgive it, you know? And I thought I was over that. It's like sometimes you think you're over something and then it gets triggered or something. It got triggered and I was watching like, I was actually into how good I sounded as a musician. And then I thought about my teacher and all this. And then also I had to forgive the sax player because the sax player was like totally choking on the recital. And I got all this emotion about this sax player from 15 years ago in so just interesting, right? Just interesting. So so that is my 2 forgiveness lessons in the field, and happy to say that I was able to catch it pretty quick.
Awesome, bro.
Good job, Jared.
Guys. All right.
I'm going to follow Jared so I can tell you guys a quick connection. So a few years ago, for some reason, I wanted to see what happened to Fred Hamilton. Like, I don't know if he put out any more records, if he was still teaching or whatever. So I went to his website and started reading his site, and he starts talking about how he recently revealed that he wanted his whole site to be about his connection to Jesus now. So he had some big spiritual thing going on that we never knew about when we were in school, that then he, like, I guess went public with on his site as a big spiritual guy. So I don't remember all the details. I just thought that was a funny connection part of the story.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what
Did you know about that?
No, but I mean, I could tell, I mean, just because he was kind of mean, like, what was he dealing with that I didn't know? I was a 23-year-old victim, right? Like, I never thought of him as a brother or anything like that until now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was dealing with stuff like we all do. So, pretty cool though.
So,
I'm glad
good
we
connection.
got some sounds like some good stuff going now. So that's good.
He was a rough guy. But anyway, so I've got 3 quick ones. First is I got in a bit of a fight with my wife on the way back from California, and I just started thinking like we can't travel together anymore, and we just don't get along, and just thinking all these negative thoughts, and just really I had a lot of time then on the second flight home to think about her and to think about forgiveness. And then on the flight on the way home, there's some terrible storm in Minneapolis, and so our flight got rerouted to Chicago. And I don't know if I like died on a plane flight or died from falling in the past or something, but I have a kind of a fear of heights, and I get pretty nervous on plane flights. So as soon as it started getting rocky, I was just like full on prayer mode, like eyes closed, like just praying my heart out, like, I'm not a body. I'm not worried about this. I'm not afraid of death. Like all this, just thinking about forgiveness and forgiving my body, and just all the prayers I could think of, which is basically the same thing I do in the dentist or the orthodontist, which is another thing I had to do this week. So that's my third one. But then the one I really wanted to get to, the thing I really wanted to share with you guys, is that I had a sort of a painful moment online this past week where a guy who follows my Facebook page didn't like one of the images I used, and he kind of complained about it, and I got into it a little bit with him. And then I did some forgiveness work around it, and I was forgiving. Oh, so the story I wanted to share with you guys, though, that I thought was great, is that I was listening to this video that Jared has picked, and there's a part in there about, he's talking about how you don't have to believe in reincarnation, but A Course in Miracles does talk about reincarnation, or it seems to hint at it. It talks about saving time. It talks about having another chance to learn a lesson, right, and choose differently. So I'm listening to that, and I'm thinking, yes, I'm even visualizing, like, when things come up today, I'm going to take those forgiveness opportunities as a second chance to, like, finally learn the lesson and make the right choice. As I'm thinking about that, listening to this audio, a notification comes up on my phone that guy has messaged me, and I was like,
Oh shit.
thank you. Perfect timing. It was just such perfect timing. So I did my forgiveness around him, and then I don't know. I still felt upset. I don't have a lot of the same. I don't feel like I have a lot of the same experiences you guys do, where I forgive someone and then immediately feel better. Like, I don't know if it just takes longer for me, but I basically spent the rest of the day still kind of being unhappy and upset. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering.
That's more
if
of a
it's possible.
slow burn. A little more layers to that one, probably.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe it just takes longer. Maybe it's a slow burn. But I'm also wondering if maybe it's possible to be unhappy but still be peaceful. I don't know. Is that possible?
I think so. I have similar experiences quite often where I kind of like can see myself be very extremely unhappy. I'm depressed. Do I look depressed? No. But yeah, I'm completely depressed. But I feel good right now. But anyways, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get slammed with depression every day, especially lately. And I think like the Course says, we all are. So of course, if that helps.
Yeah, that does.
I was gonna say, but yeah, I can observe that in myself and still be peaceful, because like, why wouldn't I be depressed, being separate from God, or thinking that I am anyways, right? A sense of separation from God is unique, correct. So I think the Course is really helpful like that. Yeah, like I think I'm separate from God, so I'm basically telling him to screw off, because I think I'm a body. That's what we're being taught in the Course. And how could I not feel guilty? And guilt demands punishment, and my punishment, reprimands depression and fear, So, but I know why now. That's what the Course is so valuable, and I know that there's a way I can work out of it, as long as I do the work to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank you, Christian. I think this reminds me that what my practice has been, because of these book club meetings, and because of the work that we've been doing together, my practice has been to be able to look at the hate, guilt, and fear and not judge it. Be able to look at it with Jesus, be able to look at it with the Holy Spirit, and not make a big deal out of it. Forgive it. And I think that's still such a big thing for me. So that's my practice, because I still get into those moments where I'm like, wait, I'm unhappy. Forgiveness isn't working. A Course in Miracles doesn't work.
Yeah, very easy, and I love how Ken clarified that up for us a little bit. That the ego fights back, and it's easy for us to think stuff like that. Like, any excuse will do for the ego. Give it a centimeter, it'll try and like jump on that, catch you back. And so yeah, it's
right, because we can't use the same system to get out of this system. Right? We have to use something completely different, which is seeing is unreal. Okay. So that was a long forgiveness in the field, but I got places with it. So thank you for your patience.
Hey. Awesome. And Nathan, I have slow burns too, bro. I do. They might not come to mind when I'm sharing my forgiveness in the field, but I did have one. I guess it was probably around the time my mom was passing. Had nothing to do with my mom, but it was around business, and it was like I had to forgive it like almost every moment, like all day long, honestly, I felt like I said my little Pablo prayer for like 50 times a day or something, you know, like every time I would think about it.
Oh, wow.
But, oh yeah, I hope I don't have any more to do, but.
Man, wouldn't it be nice if we had some sort of scorecard we could just check in on, like maybe little marks on our arm or something that's like 500 to go, woohoo!
Yeah, right. When they come up, like, oh, here's a new opportunity. JAF. Oh, just another forgiveness opportunity, as our dear Langy would say, right?
Yeah.
I know, and like, remember when Gary was like, you have a day where you don't have something to forgive, like celebrate. That's cool. Let's let it roll till something else happens. Let's just enjoy it right now.
Yeah. But I think still maintaining the vigilance with the mind training at the same time, though.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, like it feels good to me to do that. Like I feel like I'm actually like accomplishing something when I actually practice it like that way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like constantly.
Yeah, cool.
But easier said than done. Like of course, you know, we freak out. So I guess is it my turn? I guess.
Yes.
Unless
Linda
Linda,
wants
did you
to go?
Do you want to do forgiveness in the field, Linda?
Okay. I think I have to learn to forgive myself because come dinner time, I just get so tired. I just want to go straight to bed. But I told my boyfriend, Mark, right after this, I'm going to go for a bike ride. We'll just go around a block. I hope I survive.
I want to get a bike. That sounds awesome.
I have a tricycle. So my legs are so bad, I am not going to have the energy anymore for a two-wheeler to get it going. No, I need a tricycle. I'm slow.
Trikes are cool, man. Trikes are badass.
I want to see a picture of your tricycle, Linda. Post it later.
Oh, I will.
Cool. All right, Christian, it's all you. Forgiveness in the field.
Yeah, well, you guys gave like 2 or 3, and I'll try and add one on top. But my major forgiveness lesson also is like a slow burn, a reoccurring lesson. Trials are but lessons learned from when you failed to make a faulty choice before. You now can make a better one. Yeah. And so yeah, this is a really kind of like my bigger slow burn that keeps reoccurring right now. Every job I get, I have an authority problem. You know, one of my bosses ends up just kind of like, seems like I'm projecting onto them, and it seems like I have problems with my bosses, it seems, and stuff. And like, oh, I'm just building up a case, I'm one of the best, and like, you know, and blah, 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 and how come I can't get recognized by the people that should recognize me more, you know, and stuff, I don't know. So that's been one of mine, and I ended up quitting this position. I was there for 2 months, and I clearly haven't forgiven it, but it's not like the experience went anywhere. I can practice forgiveness on it now, tonight, anytime. I have that memory in so many forms. Like he said in the video, like you can go meditate on a mountain if you want. You're not alone. You still have all your memories of your whole life and everything too. And so I have a boss at my new job there, and I actually gave the notice, and she took away all my shifts. So, and I don't want to call them my brand new job and tell them that like my other job took away my shifts, because I don't know if that looks good. So I'm just like not really gonna work for like a week and a half, you know. And I got a lot of stuff to pay for. So yeah, just kind of like, am I forgiving it? Well, that's my forgiveness in the field right now. So it's cool. It's cool too. It's all good. No, that's not real forgiveness.
Bro, way to forgive stuff, though. Way to be aware of it, man.
Yeah.
You could just be bitter. You could just be bitter and mad and miserable.
Yeah, like this. So I don't know if this is real forgiveness in the field, but I'm just sharing my experience right now and stuff. Yeah. And that's what makes the call exciting, too. So if I were to practice forgiveness on it right now, why not? My lesson for today, first I'll remind myself of, so it's like 8:30 on the dot. So that's my half-hour review lesson right now is let me be still and listen to the truth. Be silent for like a minute, you know, let me be still, listen to the truth. I must have decided wrongly, you know, you're not really there, boss, or all bosses in the past, just kind of like God is. I am as God created me, his son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Just use these tools and just work on that and seeing her as Christ, holiness, and not part of it, as Gary says, but all of it. Exactly the same as God. All of us.
The happy
There we go.
dream.
So, yeah. So I just did a little work there, and
Way to go, bro.
yeah, instead of just whining about it. And then my other forgiveness in the fields. What's that, Jer?
That's forgiveness on the call.
Yeah, forgiveness right now in the call, and also like I was mentioning my mom and like my dad not so much, but with my mom there's been some more forgiveness and stuff, opportunities and so yeah, like I don't want to share too much, but just stuff there for sure, pretty heavy, deep stuff, and might be wise to learn how to be kinder.
100%. Way to go, Christian.
I'm excited to see Gary Renard in Lethbridge in a couple weeks with Sheila Sear. And yeah, so that's going to be really fun. And yeah, just forgiveness with money too. Like I got a lot of bills that are kind of piled up and I've been on track. Like I don't have too many problems, but it's just, it's like a wave and I got another wave coming in a couple weeks and now that those shifts were taken away. So that's a little stressful and I haven't been sleeping well. That's a forgiveness opportunity big time. Very hard to sleep lately kind of thing, longer than 2 hours, 4 hours at a time kind of thing. So it's all sporadic and silly. So, yeah, kind of my forgiveness lessons.
Yeah. Bro, I'm super proud of you for looking at it through the Holy Spirit's vision.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the best because that way you don't have to come back and do this again.
Yeah, and if I do, that's okay too. Like I'm reading the Disappearance of the Universe and some of Gary's lives, even like let's say 10 lives ago, he was experiencing. I don't know if he was Sufi Muslim or something, but he was experiencing the spirit world more real than this world. So even if we have 5 lifetimes, that might not sound like healing to us and stuff, but we could have 5, we could have 10. I'd say at least like maybe 5 in general for like persons. I don't know.
Remember what Gary said though, man? Like we can finish the job in this lifetime.
Yeah, and
if we really want it and we really work, and that's what motivates me. Like, yes, maybe we do, maybe we don't, but let's go for
whatever. Who cares? Yeah, it's right now, this here and now.
Now, this lifetime's all that matters.
It's this lifetime, stupid.
And then Ken would be like, "They already all happened."
Yeah, and it already all happened. Yeah,
you already passed all your lessons, okay? And you already made it. Okay.
Yeah, here we are having a pointless discussion about absolutely nothing, nowhere, and like only the.
I love knowing that we've all already made it.
Yeah.
That still doesn't change anything in a way. Like I still have to do the work right now in this body that I think I'm in.
Yeah, and he was saying like we still have like 5-10 minutes for sure, and he was saying too in that video like. The Ascended Masters are like standing at the end of time, like looking back and helping us, kind of thing, like that. And this is one of Ken's earlier workshops when he was younger. I do prefer his older ones. Some of the things he said, I don't think he would have said as he got older and grew deeper into the course, even though it's still like 5 stars, wonderful, beautiful Ken material. Don't get me wrong. And if anything, when he was younger, like I'm not even at that level yet, anyway. But like his older stuff tends to be like. He says some things when he's younger that he wouldn't say when he's older, and whatever, vice versa. But it's still amazing stuff. And
yeah, he's a little more spunky. You could just tell in his voice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What day is the Gary Renard event over there?
Gary Renard is going to be in Lethbridge, Alberta, on September 15th.
The day after our call. Okay.
September 15th, the day after, on a Saturday. Me and Sheila are going to head down.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
so excited.
We need to get her back on these calls.
Yeah, I miss her too. We're going to meet on Tuesday too, just catch up there too.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Thank you.
You too, man.
Linda, do you have any other forgiveness in the field? Are we done? You there, Linda?
Thanks, bye-bye.
Uh-oh. Linda, you there?
Little connection.
Yeah. She seems like she's frozen. Well, if you come back, Linda, we'll definitely hear from you on anything else. Give you a minute. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Linda,
Yep, I'm here. I'm sorry.
any
I had
other
a phone coming in.
any other forgiveness in the field, Linda?
But the thing is, I mean, when I was 22 years old, I had all the energy to do everything. Now it's like, I'm 57. It's like you said, when you eat a regular meal and you have carbs or something like that, I mean, your energy goes pick up and then goes shot down. So I definitely want to try your diet thing. I mean, I like this. I mean, with every diet out there, you know, and I'm like, I'm trying. I want to lose the weight, and I'm like, I'm just too damn tired. I'm just feeling tired after I have a meal. I mean, I like to have energy and maybe still go on and do what I have to do. And preferably, I have to clean up my face. I mean, it's a little messy.
Linda, I'm going to call you after this call, and I'm going to get you some info, okay?
All right.
Yes. Love you.
Love you. How's the wife and family doing?
Good. Crystal's taking a nap right now.
That's good. You have a dog or cat?
We have both, but they all live with our in-laws. Like, all the pets live with our in-laws.
Oh, you should bring them over. I want to see your pets on here.
Yeah, they're like, well, Tasia is our oldest dog, and she's 13 years old. She's the Pomeranian. And
Give TJ for me.
what?
Give kisses to TJ for me.
I will. And
I want to see your dogs on here. I want to see what they look like.
I can't
what-
bring them on right now. I'll have to wait till Tasia comes over.
All right, whatever. How about you, Chris? Are you a furry daddy?
Oh yeah, I'm a furry daddy. You better believe it.
You had a dog on here, you know? I mean,
Funny.
what about you, Nathan? Show your pet on here. Yeah.
I got 2 cats
Yeah,
now.
shy.
Do you have a pet, Nathan, or what kind of pets do you got?
I have 2 cats, but they're both jerks, so you'll never get them on camera.
Nice. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I got a really.
They're hard to get on camera, just like their owner.
Aww. And my boyfriend Mark, he loves
Good one.
Lucy, so she loves her daddy.
Aw. Okay, I think we're done.
All right, yeah, I gotta get out of here. Then I have to come back and go bicycling with Mark.
Okay, guys. Well, thank y'all for being on the call. Let's go ahead and end the call like we end every call. Have an awesome night, and God bless. Oh, wait, who's gonna choose the what we're gonna listen to next time?
It's probably me, isn't it?
Nathan? Okay. All right, Nathan. Thank you for choosing it, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Good night, guys.
Okay, everyone, good night and God bless.
Night.
Bye, Linda. Bye, Christian. Bye, Nathan.